Good morning, good morning. Hello, how are we doing today? Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Glad to see everyone here. Good morning, good day from wherever you're from. If you don't mind, just give me a thumbs up in chat so I know that my audio settings are correct and that you guys could see the screen. The screen should be on the dollar right now. Dixie, DXY. Just want to make sure all my settings are correct before we hop into this. Good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone that is here. I'm very excited to be back with you guys on another live stream. We have non-farm payroll this week. That is Wednesday to Friday. We have non-farm payroll. We'll discuss that shortly, but just want to take a minute to say hello to everyone, see how everybody's week is going, see how the community is doing. I hope everybody's week is going well. Hope everybody is doing good personally and financially. I hope our psychology is right and in the right state of mind so that we can approach this business as efficiently as we can. Hello, hello, hello. A lot of familiar faces. I love to see everybody joining once again. Hello from Texas. Good morning from New York. Good morning from Aussie. Hello from Pakistan. Good morning from Ohio. Hello from Johannesburg. Good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Good morning, Brian. Hello from New Jersey. Hello, Andrew. Hello, hello. Good morning from Uganda. I hope everybody is doing well. I am glad to be on here again this morning. Let's see what the market has for us today. Before we get started, I would greatly appreciate if everybody could like the video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you guys are able to communicate in chat. If you're wondering why you're not able to type in the chat, it's because you probably haven't subbed to the channel. So sub to the channel, like the video, and we will get into the conversation. Good morning from Norway, Arkansas, Malaysia, Philippines, Colorado, New Hampshire, Minnesota, Colombia, Morocco, Florida, Somalia, Trinidad and Tobago, Morocco, California, Lebanon, New York City, Philippines. Good morning, good day. Canada, Nigeria, Malaysia. Good morning, hello. How is everybody doing this week? Good morning from Lithuania and Florida. Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be on here again with you guys. Thank you again for joining. We have ourselves a New York Open. It is Wednesday here, March 6th. Let's go over to the economic calendar to understand what we're dealing with today. Right, so you should see the economic calendar now. This week, we have non-farm payroll. For anybody that knows ICT, for anybody that has been studying ICT, you would know that ICT specifically states that if you are not an expert, which I would suggest the majority of us here are not experts, that Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week is a time to be extra cautious, extra patient, and good to sit on your hands and watch and learn. Reason being is non-farm payroll is one of the more volatile events in terms of volatility injections, news drivers. So thinking in terms of risk, right? We should always be thinking in terms of risk, not reward. Risk management is the key to this business. You should always be thinking in terms of risk. Okay? Non-farm payroll, with how volatile of an event this is one of the worst times to be wrong. Right? We think in terms of risk. The volatility injection that comes with non-farm payroll is more volatile than other red folders. That is the reason why it is a better time to be patient. Sit on hands and watch. Take the time to learn. Save the mental capital. You don't need to be pressing buttons to learn. You don't need to be pressing buttons to gain experience. Right, so we're going to gain some experience this morning. We're going to go over the charts, but as our top priority always is, time, understanding the most important times of the day. We always start the stream on the economic calendar because we need to know the important times of the day. Okay, so you can see today's Wednesday, March 6th. We already had an 8:15 red folder, and now we have a 10 a.m. red folder. Jerome Powell will be speaking, and we have the JOLTS job openings, two high-impact news drivers. So 10 a.m. is something that we need to be aware of. There's going to be a volatility injection at 10 a.m. Make sure we keep that in mind. Now, let's get over to the charts and we'll get some analysis going. First chart we have up here is DXY, IXY, the dollar, right? So everybody should know the correlation that Dixie has to risk assets. Dixie is inversely correlated to ES, NQ, EU. Inversely correlated. That means if Dixie is going down, EU, ES, and Q should be going up. Right, so we're going to take a look at Dixie real quick. It's very clear to me that this is the first thing that stands out on the daily chart. We had a run above. We had a run above a swing high, right? So we know that's a stop hunt. After that run above the swing high, we saw displacement through the breaker block. Right? And now we're seeing after price retested, right? So after this happened, this is when the breaker block was formed. Then when price retested the breaker block, it provided the rejection that we were looking for. Now it's starting to move lower. So in terms of the correlation to ES and Q, if Dixie is starting to move lower, right? If they're inversely correlated, we'd be looking for ES and NQ to move higher. So this will be our bias for NQ. I'm sorry. Excuse me. This will be our bias for Dixie, right? We're looking for Dixie to move lower. So then we'll move over to NQ and ES. So what do we see on NQ? We saw that the beginning of the week started with a sell-off. We made a move lower into the discount of this daily range. A few seconds, I have to change the template. Okay, now you can see it here. Monday and Tuesday moved into a discount of the daily range. What do we have in a discount? We have this daily order block here, right? Let me zoom in here so you can see. We also have a very tiny fair value gap right here. Very tiny, but it is there. right? So we have two discount arrays on the daily to pair our inverse correlation with Dixie. Dixie's going lower, so we would want to see ES and NQ bounce off of a bullish PD array that's in a discount. Now that we have an understanding of discount and premium and the bullish PD arrays on a higher time frame, move down into a hourly chart to see our market structure, right? And we can clearly see that we had a change in the state of delivery, right? And I'll explain it in 2 seconds. Let me just write it out. So a change in the state of delivery, the first time price changes trend, right? So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This was the first time, right? If you're thinking about trend, this is a downtrend. Lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. First time we made a new high. That's your change in the state of delivery. What do you notice on the change in the state of delivery? That it was done with displacement, right? Displacement and FEG, right? Just marked out the FEG. There's multiple FEGs here, so it is clearly displacing during the change in the state of delivery. Okay, so now that we know on a daily we were in a discount at a higher time frame PD array, that daily bullish order block, that daily bullish FEG. At that location, we got a bullish change in the state of delivery on the hourly chart, which the hourly chart is our market structure, right? The daily is for bias. The hourly chart is for market structure. So if we have a bullish bias on the daily, because we're currently located in a discount at a bullish PD array, we would want to go to the hourly chart to align your market structure with your bias. And you can see it here. We clearly displace through a change in the state of delivery. This is also our entry function, right? Our breaker block, let me point out the breaker block here, has the FEG aligned with the breaker block. So this is also a breaker block with an FEG. Look at the confluence of this area. Breaker block with an FEG for a clear and decisive change in the state of delivery. So now that we've identified our manipulation, you can go ahead and run your standard deviations from it. Give me 2 seconds, I got to change the template again. Right? So you run your standard deviations by placing the fib on the leg that took liquidity, on your manipulation leg. From the swing low to the swing high of the manipulation leg is where you'd place the standard deviations. Right? So now we can look for areas to target. Everything above your change in the state of delivery, you're looking for the standard deviations as places to target. Next thing, what do you want to see on the other side of the curve? And I'm going to slow down so I can start asking questions so that the community can engage in this, so that they can have that hands-on learning experience. First question. What do you want to see on the other side of the curve? Nobody gets the answer. I'll give a little more of a hint, but we're going to start with that. If we're bullish right now, because of everything that I pointed out, what is something that you want to see on the other side of the curve? If this is the sell side of the curve, and this is the buy side of the curve, when we are on the buy side of the curve, what do we want to see on the opposite side? Give it a couple more seconds to let everybody get a chance to respond. Very good to anybody that said low resistance liquidity. You want to see low resistance liquidity on the other side of the curve. Right? So low resistance liquidity would be this right here. Here's your low resistance liquidity. See all this? Low resistance liquidity are failure swings. All of this area, price was not grabbing liquidity, right? So let me show you the difference here. Here is low resistance liquidity, right? Failure swings. Here is high resistance liquidity. Need to turn that off there. Right, this is high resistance liquidity because price swept the highs. High resistance liquidity because price swept the highs. Low resistance liquidity because of failure swing. Low resistance liquidity because of failure swing. We want to see low resistance liquidity on the opposite side of the curve. That way, we know that price has something to reach for. You want to see high resistance liquidity on your side of the curve. That way we know price has took liquidity. Right? So in a perfect world, given the situation that we're in right now, this is what I would want to see, right? Some smooth edges for our final target. Then I would want to see low resistance liquidity on the way down, right? All failure swings. And then I would want to see a reversal, right? Stop hunt, displacement through the breaker block, reversal. And then I would want to see high resistance liquidity on my side of the curve. Equal highs to aim at, low resistance liquidity on the way down, and then to know that we're on the right side of the curve, I want to see high resistance liquidity on my side of the curve. Okay. So right now, that is why I'm pointing out these signatures in price. Right? High resistance liquidity here. You can see the stop hunt here when the swing low was swept, and then we displaced through it. After that happened, I'm looking on the other side of the curve to see if we have something to reach for. Having the logic and the understanding of where we are on the daily chart is what's making me say that. We're in a discount on the daily chart at a higher time frame level, that bullish order block, that bullish FVG. What happened at that area? Your market structure shifted. We went to the hourly chart and we saw a market structure shift with displacement. Once we were capable of analyzing that, we then moved over to the other side of the curve to make sure we have something to reach for. The purpose of the analysis is that you need to understand that you need to be applying logic. You need to be applying narratives to your analysis. We are not simply just looking for a price action pattern. We're not just waiting for New York to open and then saying, oh, 1 minute breaker block with an FEG, let's go long. No, absolutely not. We are not just waiting for New York open and going, oh, 5 minute breaker block, it has an FVG aligned with it, let's go long. No. That's the same thing as retail. If you want to be a retail trader, then that's what you would do. You would look for patterns. The purpose of the conversation is that you need to be applying logic and narratives to your decisions, to your analysis. Okay? Now we'll take it one step further and state that when you're applying logic, when you're applying narrative, you want to be aligning that with your higher time frame order flow. Okay? Now let me give you an example. If your bias is bullish, if your daily order flow is bullish, do not come back to me and give me some kind of bearish logic. Notice how the analysis this morning, I was not trying to frame a bearish entry function. I was not looking for any type of short because of the daily bias, because of the higher time frame order flow. The logic I'm looking for should be aligned with the higher time frame order flow. And it's as simple as stating this. Anytime you cannot create logic, anytime you cannot create a narrative, do nothing. Sit on your hands and wait. Anytime your bias does not align with the hourly market structure, anytime your bias has no logic to implement it, do nothing. Sit on your hands and wait. The majority of this business is done doing nothing. If you are not capable of being patient, if you are not capable of doing nothing, you will burn your accounts. The more impulsive you are, the more emotional you are, the quicker you will burn your accounts. Okay, so for me, since I only execute after news drivers and we have a news driver at 10 a.m., I know that there's nothing to do on the chart yet. So we can go and do this same practice on last week's action as well. Right, so let me just take a look at the lower time frame first to see where we're at, and then we're going to go into last week's action and create that logic, create those narratives. It does look bullish, right? We are moving higher. You know, there's no entry function here, so even though we created logic, even though we're trying to get on the same side as higher time frame order flow, my entry function's not there, right? We don't see this right here. We don't see the down, up, down, all the way through. We don't see this is right. There's no breaker block here. Since there's no breaker block, it's okay to do nothing. Right, so we'll just sit and wait. Since we will sit and wait, let's go and study last week's action as well. And we will do the same thing that we just did, so we can be understanding how to apply logic, understanding how to create a narrative that is in line with the higher time frame order flow. And take a quick sip of water, and then we're going to hop into the next example. All right, let's hop into last week's example. If you haven't already, please do me a favor. Like the stream. Sub to the channel. If you're noticing that you can't participate in chat, that's because you haven't subbed to the channel. Only people that have subbed are able to communicate. If you're looking for a more direct form of communication with me, the link to my Discord is in the description of this video. The Discord is where I communicate the most. Twitter is like a public journal for me. There's also too much traffic on Twitter, so it's hard for me to have direct communication. There's way too many notifications that happen every single morning, every single day. So it's hard to directly communicate to every single person that's on Twitter. So I use that as a public journal. Discord is where I communicate the clearest. So if you'd like, in the description of this video, the link to the Discord is there. Feel free to join. All you have to do is verify yourself so that we know you're not a bot. And then you'll have access to the Discord. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do these live streams every single week. We're providing educational videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. Our main goal is to provide as much value as we can every chance we get a chance to. So if you guys have any questions or want to go over any information, feel free to join the Discord. The link is in the description of the bio. The description of this video. Let's go into another example here so we can continue to understand logic and narrative, right? So we'll go back to last week's action as well, right? So take a look at it. We'll go to, all right, so this is what the week looks like to start, right? So the first thing that you can say about this is that price just swept an external liquidity, right? You see the swing high here. It swept it here. Was not able to displace over it. Therefore, we would look back internal. Right? What do we see internal? A daily FVG. So to start the week, I would be looking for a move back into the daily FVG. But now thinking about higher time frame order flow, what have we been doing? Right? What is the current trend of the market? The market is clearly going higher. I mean, we're pushing all-time highs. We're making new all-time highs. The market is clearly going higher. So just because we're looking for a move back internal, that does not mean we need to take advantage of that. We can allow it to happen, be patient, and then wait for a bullish scenario. Right? I'd rather be executing in line with the higher time frame order flow. The current situation where price is currently located is a bearish position. Therefore, since the location of price is not aligned with the higher time frame order flow, for me, that's a time to do nothing. That's a time to wait and be patient until you get a bullish scenario. Right? So we'll, at this moment in time, I would be looking for price to go back into the daily FEG. But then once it gets into the daily FEG, that's when I want to start generating a bullish idea. Right? So here's your Monday. Right? Nothing convincing here. It did go into the bullish FEG, but I'd rather see some kind of sweep, right? This does not look like a reversal candle. So this is a time to be patient, thinking that we still might go into the daily FEG a little lower. Okay, now that starts to look like a reversal candle, right? We swept the low into the daily FEG. Now it looks like we're moving from internal to external, right? From the daily FEG back to the swing high. With that being said, just because you have a bias now, just because your bias is aligned with the higher time frame order flow, you still need to confirm it with your market structure, right? So if daily is bias and your hourly is market structure, let's go into the hourly chart and look at the market structure and wait for it to align with the daily bias. I'm going to take off the daily annotations. I will leave the target here so we know what we're looking for to keep our eyes on the draw on liquidity, right? And now we just have to wait until we get a clear and decisive change in the state of delivery, right? So we're just waiting for now. Don't see any clear and decisive change in the state of delivery yet, right? Still waiting. There's no... Look at this one here, right? This is not clear and decisive. There is no FVG when we broke this high right here. There's no FVG. There's nothing decisive about that. That is not displacement. Displacement is the presence of an FVG. So since there's no presence of an FVG here, I would not call that clear and decisive. So we keep waiting. Right? We just keep waiting until our market structure is aligned with our bias. We just keep waiting. Tell me if you think that is clear and decisive. If you can't see that on the screen, you know, I would probably say you got to go get some glasses or something, but this is quite literally the largest candle out of this entire range. Out of this whole consolidation, you now have clear and decisive displacement. You cannot miss it. It's so large. Right? And now we'll see. Perfect. Now we also have an FVG that's aligned with it. Now our market structure is aligned with our bias. So we do the same exact thing that we did last time. Right? Now that our market structure is aligned with our bias, we can measure the manipulation. Right? Nice to see that our target lines up with -2 to -2.5. And once again, what do you see on the other side of the curve? Look at all these failure swings. It's the same thing. These are the signatures in price that you need to be looking for. When you can identify them, that's when you start to create higher probabilities. Right? So you have the low resistance liquidity. You have your previous week high as your draw on liquidity. Right? We were capable of identifying the clear and decisive displacement. It was clear and decisive because it's the largest candle out of this entire range. It has an FVG that breaks the market structure, right? So again, you can mark out your change in the state of delivery. Now that your bias is aligned with the market structure, this would be the time to finally execute. But let's take a look at something. Let's put this into context. You would have had to wait until, look at this, Thursday. I'd be very curious to see, out of everybody that's here in chat today, out of the 800 people that are viewing this, how many people would honestly be able to say that you have enough patience to not take any positions from Monday to Thursday? To be able to wait and be patient enough until all of the information aligns. I'd be really curious to know how many could be that patient to have no executions until Thursday of a week. I'll keep saying it. A lot of the time, this business is spent doing nothing. You hear me say it all the time. If you're in the Discord, if you're following me on Twitter, less is more. Quality over quantity. I say it all the time. People always ask me, why do you only take one position a week? Why is your maximum amount of trades 2 times a week? You have to realize that this is money that you're not supposed to have. You don't have it, probably because you're not profitable yet. You should be grateful if you even obtain any money from the market, instead of being in such a rush to give it back. Here's the harsh reality. Stop listening to everybody on Twitter. Stop listening to everybody on social media. If you see a post that says, I'll show you how to turn $500 into $1 million in a week, you better run the opposite direction. That is misinformation. That is euphoria. That does not happen. We are not playing the lotto. Now I'll bring you back to reality. 1 good trade a week? 2 good trades a week? Isn't that why we're here? Aren't we here because of time freedom? Financial freedom? Why would being stuck to a screen trying to take 10 trades a day be freedom? That sounds like the same thing as a 9-to-5 job. So why are we doing that? Why are you taking multiple trades a day? 10, 20 trades a week? That's not freedom. Freedom is spending time with your family, going outside, having time to yourself, working on your health, not being attached to a screen. So, why don't we just focus on getting 1 good trade a week, 2 good trades a week? Cover your car payment, cover your mortgage. As soon as that's done, turn everything off and go do something else. Stop thinking that you're going to make thousands and thousands of dollars a week. Couple $100 a week, couple $100 a trade. Just focus on covering your car payment, and that's it. Once you've covered your car payment for the month, stop trading. Keep that money. Protect that capital. Risk management will always be the #1 priority at all times. Stop comparing to anybody else and start focusing on yourself and your own abilities. Sorry to get off track there. Quick little rant about risk management. It's very needed, but we can continue with the analysis. I just need to put things into perspective for you guys, because you need to have realistic expectations. When you have unrealistic expectations, that induces emotions that are going to deter you from completing your goals. Okay. Let's get back to the analysis. Right, the whole reason why that rant even started was because I was curious to know if people would even be capable of waiting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Would you even be able to wait until Thursday to get your first execution? Right, because now that the market structure broke in the direction of your bias, clearly and decisively, now let's go look for our entry function. Right, so I'll leave this on the screen because this is our market structure and our narrative. This is our logic. This is our draw on liquidity. Right, so now we'll go to, right, we only enter during New York. Right, so New York has started. We are bullish, right, because of the bullish bias. We are bullish because of the market structure. Now we wait for a bullish entry function, right? So let's analyze. What would a bullish entry function be? It would be this right here. Down, up, down, all the way through. Breaker block, FVG aligned with the breaker block. Right, so you can see that starting to happen here. Down, up, down. But now we need to go all the way through. Change in the state of delivery, right? Notice how price is respecting that. Look how clean that is. That was your hourly change in the state of delivery, and look how clean price is respecting that. You get a reversal candle at that exact location. You finally get displacement, right? So here's your stop hunt. Stop hunt here. Stop hunt here. Mark out the breaker. Highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity. We finally displaced through it. There's an FVG aligned with it, right? Now we do what we always do with our entry function. We enter at the beginning of the breaker block with a stop loss below it. And then we aim for 2R. What do we want to see on the other side of the curve. Low resistance liquidity. See how all the signatures and price are there? Entry, right? If you just waited until your entry function, you do get an entry. And then let's see what happens. See what happens? There's another example of providing logic and narrative that is aligned with your higher time frame order flow, that's aligned with your bias. Just take some patience. Okay? It just takes some patience. All right. Now that we're getting our driver, right? 10 a.m. Powell is testifying. We had jolts, job openings, right? So this is exactly why I say that we wait until after the high impact news driver, right? We could always expect liquidity to be injected into the market during those red folders. And you're seeing it here. Clear and decisive move. Right, so this was the area that I was looking at here. Go back to the hourly. Marked out. We marked out the change in the state of delivery, right? So that was the area that I was looking at. Let's see where ES is. ES is heading towards that location as well. Okay. So we'll see what happens when we get to that location. The first thing that you guys need to understand, because I know that anytime I put anything on this chart, people react to it. I do not trade Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll. We'll continue to communicate. We'll continue to analyze. But you will see that I don't execute on these days because of non-farm payroll. But we'll see what happens at the change in the state of delivery, right? If we get one of these, our entry function. Now that it's after the high impact news driver. Here, let's put a nice sweep of the lows. Take a look at the 1 minute as well. Nothing yet. Nothing to do yet. Wait and watch. As we're waiting and watching, if anybody has any questions or comments, if anybody wants to go over any certain information, throw a comment in chat. Okay. If you haven't already, please do like the stream and sub to the channel. We do this every single week. All of the previous recordings are on the YouTube, so you can go back and watch them as well. But for anybody that's wondering why or if they can't communicate, it's because you haven't subbed to the channel. But if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave that in the chat and we can go over it now. Please, why is your NASDAQ showing March? This is the March contract. This is not the continuous contract. Okay. How would the 1 minute entry with the 15-minute chart alignment work? Everything is the same. The process does not change, right? You just do not mix the time frame alignments. The 4 hour is aligned with the 15-minute. The 15-minute is aligned with the 1 minute. Right? So get a bias from the 4 hour. Look at your 15-minute market structure. Create a narrative from the 15-minute. Then look for 1 minute entry functions. Good morning, Brian. Nice to see you. I hope your day is going well. I hope your week is going well. Did I mean Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday? No, I meant exactly what I said. I do not participate Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week. If you're following ICT, if you've gone over his information, it's exactly what he says. For anybody that is not an expert in these markets, during these times, right, during Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week, it's a good time to be patient. It's a good time to sit on your hands and just watch. It's because of the volatility that comes with non-farm payroll. Thinking in terms of risk, that is the worst time to be wrong. So think in terms of risk. If your entry function is on the 5 minute, when would you move to the M1 for an entry? That's a personal decision. Okay, so for example, people don't use the M1 because they're not capable of handling their emotions. The M1 is more volatile than the M5. So if your personality, if your emotional intelligence cannot handle the noise of an M1 chart, I would suggest staying off the M1 chart. Okay, so that answer will be contingent upon each trader. I mostly focus on the M5. So daily bias, 1 hour market structure, M5 executions. How do you get the March contract? See how it says H? So NQH 2024. Type that in, right? Go here, type in NQH 2024. You get the March contract. Good morning, Dono. How are you doing this week? I hope your day is going well. What would make you change bias to bearish? We disrespected daily FVG, closed below it yesterday, left equal lows, change order flow on the hour 4. What else needs to happen to be bearish? So for the people that are in my Discord, they already have this information. None of this is hindsight, so you could just go back to Monday's action and see this information. This is what I pointed out for Monday as the week started. We will go to what it would look like for the start of the week, right? So this is what it looked like before Monday even opened. The first thing that I was pointing to was that price was currently located above a swing high, which is known as external liquidity, right? Very common, very logical sense to know that we short above old swing highs, we long below old swing lows. So seeing that price is currently located above a swing high, you'd want to see price to move back internal. right? And you have something to reach for here. There's a very tiny FVG, but it is here. So you have something to reach for. External to internal, right? Now, for the individuals that need confirmations, right? You go to your market structure. Now, this is still Friday. Let's move over to Monday here, right? So now this is what the market structure looks like as Monday begins. What do you see, right? Change in the state of delivery. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, all the way through. Look, we made a new low. Again, in terms of trend, you're making higher highs, higher low, higher low, higher low, until you make your first new low. That's a change in the state of delivery, right here. Change in the state of delivery. This is a bearish change in the state of delivery. Since the daily is located above a swing high, and we get a bearish change in the state of delivery with displacement, again, the presence of an FVG, this is the time to be bearish. This is the time to be bearish, and just like before, you can start to run your projections, right, from the swing high to the swing low of the leg that caused the change in the state of delivery, right? This is the time to be bearish. Short here, aim for -2 and -2.5 standard deviations first. You have to understand that this location here is a potential reversal. If you see candle closures below this area, you can suggest that you're going to get max extension, which is -4, right? So there's your short opportunity. You get 2 entries there. Bias is correct. We're starting to move in the right direction. First target hit here, right? Notice how we bounced directly off of it. That's an area to be cautious of reversal. We need candle closures below this area to look for max extension. Now you get a candle closure below this area, so now we can continue to be bearish, right? And there's your max extension. So that was the time to be bearish, right? You short from a premium. You short from above old highs, right? So look at where price is now, right? Price is in a discount of the daily range. You do not short from a discount, right? So let me put the daily range on here. Give me 2 seconds. I just have to change the template. Now you can see premium and discount of the daily range, right? From swing high to swing low. That gives your daily range. That shows you discount and premium. It's the same logic. You short above old swing highs, you short from a premium. You long from below swing lows, you long from a discount, right? So now that we're in a discount, I'm not framing any kind of short. I'm not interested in any kind of short. If a short happens, I'm not going to take it because of this logic. Right? So everybody's probably saying, oh my God, we sold off from the news driver. Right? And what I'm saying is we had an hourly bullish change in the state of delivery here with displacement, right? And you have your breaker block there. You have the entry function that I use. Look at that entry there. Imagine if you used our entry function, right? As you're supposed to. You enter from the beginning of the breaker block with a stop loss below it. You're already what? 980 to, you're already plus 40 points on a long. You could be done for the day. You could be done for the day. Right? So instead of being influenced by this, right? Instead of seeing this and be like, oh my God, you know, you got your bias wrong, you're on the wrong side of order flow, you know. Why don't you create logic, create narratives, align it with higher time frame order flows, and when you do that, that's when you create probabilities. So no, I'm not looking at shorts right now. Matter of fact, for anybody that was here in the stream and saw the original analysis that I put out there before the market opened, right? You either could have taken the change in the state of delivery or the breaker block here, and you'd be up 40 points. How long do you spend at the screens on average each day? So there's two answers to that question. On the charts, I only execute between 9:30 and 12. After that, I'm completely off the charts. Before that time, I'm responding to any questions, comments, speaking to the Discord. So probably from, you know, 6 a.m. to 9:30, I'm talking to my Discord, preparing, answering questions, providing logic and narratives. Imagine those who haven't subbed to Ash Capital. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do this every single week. And like I said earlier, if you're looking for more direct communication with me, that would be in the Discord. The Discord is in the link to the description of this video. Anybody could join. All you have to do is verify yourself when you go to enter. That way we know you're not a bot. How did you add patience and discipline text to the top of your chart? This is an indicator right here. AGFX watermark. That is that writing right here. See, subtitle, patience. AGFX watermark. That is how you add that writing. Matt, we use the 1 hour and 5 minute, correct? We as in me, I'm guessing. Yes, I use the 1 hour, 5 minute time frame alignment. The daily is your bias. The 1 hour is your market structure and narrative. The 5 minute is your entry functions. Do you recommend not taking trades Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week, even if there's a perfect setup, as a matter of discipline and patience? Ask yourself this. Would you rather have patience and discipline, or would you have short-term gratification? In life, in general, right? It doesn't even have to refer to the chart, right? But sure, we'll refer to the chart now. If you have a perfect setup right now, would you take $100, $200, $300, whatever it is, or would you rather have patience and discipline? Very clear answer for me. I'd rather have the patience and discipline. That is a virtue in life. It goes much longer than just a short-term gratification. It brings you further in life than just making $200 on a day. Start playing a higher level game of chess. Stop submitting to the short-term gratifications. What do you think of today's daily bias and why? So I'm not sure if you were here during the beginning of the stream. I would suggest just going back into the stream and rewatching it. I answered this question multiple times and I just recently answered it, right? So the discount of the daily range is a location that we look for longs, and then you go to your market structure and you see the change in the state of delivery, right? With displacement, because there's FVGs here. So you could have marked out the breaker block, right? And we know that you're only supposed to be executing after the high impact news drivers. So it's after 10 o'clock and we're at an hourly bullish unicorn. So you could have taken, you know, a plus 40 point long here. Am I trading something else that's not ES and NQ? No, I focus on ES and NQ. How to use Dixie? Dixie is inversely correlated to risk assets. When Dixie is going down, risk assets should be going up. Vice versa. Would you consider 4 hour a change in the state of delivery? No swing high was actually taken. No, there is no change in the state of delivery here on the 4 hour. And let me just get this straight. Maybe you should go watch T-Trade's video on change in the state of delivery versus market structure shift. Okay? It'll answer your question about no swing high being taken. You wouldn't be done for the day because if you keep taking profits early, you're skewing your risk, which will eventually lead to not making any profits. Thomas, I'm not sure what that comment is referencing, but if you want to just throw another comment in chat, maybe we can go over it. But it already ran to R. You guys have to understand, and I already said it multiple times, I'm not trading today. Provided the analysis, and this is what I would be looking at, and I provided the logic behind it. Before any of that happened, I had stated that Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week is a time that I do not execute. Why are indice futures preferred over CFDs? More accurate information, less spreads, less broker manipulation. Use the CME charts. Don't use CFDs. Joined the premium at the start of this month. Worth every dollar. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate the kind words, Wolf. Yes, we will continue to keep learning and working every single week. And I will gladly continue to keep providing value every chance I can get. This logic is what Matt teaches in the premium Discord. I am finally seeing it in real time. Join. Thank you, Steven. I really appreciate the kind words. Yes, we are definitely going to continue to keep working and learning every single week. Your calm approach to trading is just what we need to prevent us from over trading. Yeah, so if you don't have logic, if you don't have justifications to your actions, right? Everything should be a cause and effect relation. If you can't fully define each one of those cause and effect relations, you're going to be acting impulsively. And depending on your emotional intelligence, those emotions are going to create habits or actions that will not be profitable. Right? Just like over trading, just like revenge trading, just like fearful trading, just like greedy trading. If you're running off of emotions, you'll never let the law of averages actually compound your numbers. And I did that homework assignment this past week. I told everybody to go flip a coin, go get a quarter, right? Go get a quarter. Go get a quarter. Heads will be plus 2R. Tails will be minus 1R. Flip that quarter 10 times and tell me the results. Very simple to flip that quarter because there's no emotion behind it. There's no emotion behind it. But then go and look at the results and tell me what the law of averages provided you. But you're only going to get plus 1R or plus 2R when you allow those probabilities to play out, right? It's easy for you to flip that coin. It's easy for you to flip that coin because you have no emotions behind it. You won't be deterred by anything because you don't care about the outcome. Therefore, since the risk has been accepted before you even do the objective, you're going to be capable of holding it until plus 2R. You're going to be capable of accepting those minus 1Rs because you have no emotion attached to it. But those minus 1Rs and those plus 2Rs is what's going to make the progress. That is going to be what makes or breaks you as a trader. Your ability to allow those probabilities to play out. Your ability to strictly define your risk management. If you focus on a fixed 2R, you only need about 40% win rate to be profitable. Yet people are so caught up in their emotions that they never allow those probabilities to play out. They never define their risk management and implement that risk management every single day that they show up. If you don't do that, you're not going to make progress. Plain and simple. Go grab a quarter, flip it 10 times. Heads is plus 2R. Tails is minus 1R. Let me know what your results are. I lost every time, and for some reason, every time a new comment comes in the chat, it loses my position in the chat. Like, I have to scroll back up to find where I was. So give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to figure out where I left off here. Once again, I do really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you again for joining. I greatly appreciate every single one of you being able to spend our time learning and working every single week. I truly do feel that as a collective whole, you get a better learning experience because you get to ask those questions, because you get to go over information, because you get multiple perspectives, right? You're going to think differently than I do. You're going to have different emotions than I do. So to be able to see different perspectives is very valuable. Learning as a collective whole has a lot of value to it. So I do really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you again. If you haven't already, please like the video, sub to the channel, and lastly, the Discord link is in the description of this video. If you want a direct communication with me, that would be in the Discord. So again, for the people that are telling me I'm on the wrong side of order flow, we're getting a beautiful bounce from your change in the state of delivery, right? Your breaker block with an FEG. Beautiful bounce. Makes sense that the news driver would be manipulation, right? So let's see what we have. Fortunately, we don't have a 5-minute entry function. See about NQ does not either. So unless you used the hourly, there's no 5-minute entry function there. But I mean, even look at the hourly. Look at the drawdown here, right? So you would have go down to a 1-minute chart. Look at this. You would have only been in drawdown for about 2 minutes, and then you get nice displacement away from the breaker block. Beautiful spot, beautiful analysis. You know, go back to the beginning of the video, watch the live stream over when the recording is complete. None of it's hindsight. This was all placed right in front of you at the beginning of the video. Pointed this out during the pre-market. And there's your results. Which broker am I using? I have a Topstep funded account. I have a My Funded Futures account. I have an AMP account, and then I have a Thinkorswim account, TD Ameritrade. So AMP and TD Ameritrade are personal accounts, and then obviously the other guys are prop firms, which you guys know about that already. You can check out the premium if that is something that interests you. The link to the premium should also be in the description of this video. Click on the bento, and then you will see the premium server. Can I look at CL? Take a look at CL. CL, right? Take a look. Don't see any FEGs in here, nor do I see any swing lows. Daily is not overly clear to me here. The only thing I can really say about this is there's nothing really clear on CL to me here. I don't really like CL right now. The only thing I can say about the daily is that we moved into a discount of the daily range, and then we got bought up. There's no swing low in here, right? So in terms of buying below swing lows or buying from bullish FEGs, I don't have those areas of interest, so that's why I'm saying I don't like CL. The only thing I can say is that it moved into a discount, and then when it moved into a discount, right? Very ugly, because look, you get the change in the state of delivery here, right? Gets invalidated, goes back below the change in the state of delivery, and then gets bought up. So I really don't like CL at the moment. I don't have any bias or analysis to provide here, right? When the information is not clear, when you can't fully define it, that would be another time to do nothing. Be patient, wait until you can. So that's how I feel about CL. I really don't have a bias here. It's just not clean PA for the way that I analyze the market. So I wouldn't focus on this, is what I have to say about that. I love your content. You're calm and provide great information. I'm interested in the premium group. What benefit do I get compared to watching free ICT stuff? I live trade. I provide a lot of psychology and emotional intelligence. You get to see all of my information live compared to it being journaled and documented. So nothing hindsight. You get to see the information beforehand and then it plays out. You have the ability to have your trades reviewed. You can go into the Discord and I'll review any of your trades. There are additional resources and tools such as mentorship videos, journaling softwares. There's a lot more tools and resources along with psychology, emotional intelligence, and live data. There's more live streams that occur there. Live streams just like this here is the same exact live streams that you get in the premium service. Dona says, do you give entry SLTP asking for a friend? I do. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but I do. Anytime I take position, the position tool is shown and the screenshot is provided when I go to enter. I don't think you came off route at all. That was a great question. I appreciate you asking. What about short NQ? I already told you that maybe you weren't here during the beginning of the live stream. I'm not looking for shorts. My bias is not short. I do not short from a discount, so I'm not going to entertain any shorts. Yeah, I figured that was a joke. I'm pretty sure I know the meme that you're referring to too. Was change in the state of delivery need FEG and breaker block to confirm? No. You do not need to have a breaker block to confirm change in the state of delivery. Those are two different concepts. You also do not need an FEG during the change in the state of delivery. If you have an FEG during the change in the state of delivery, that gives me more confidence, because an FEG is clear and decisive displacement. That means price is energetically moving in one direction. So it looks more decisive than if there was no FEG. Sleepy was the one asking. Sleepy wanted the entry stop loss PP template for every single position. I got you, Sleepy. I asked, do you use a copy trade to copy your positions? I do not use a copy trader. So any questions on copy trading, I'm going to have to defer to somebody else that uses copy traders. That's just not something that I do. Ready? So, if we have any more questions or comments, I'll gladly go over them. We got through our logic and narratives conversation this morning. That was the lecture that I was looking to focus on. To wrap it up and to give a brief synopsis of the live stream. The point to going over this information is to create higher probabilities, right? We need to be able to understand that we're not just looking for a pattern, that we need to be thinking in terms of probabilities. We're not simply looking for a breaker that has an FEG aligned with it. You need to apply logic and narrative to your positions. When you do that, it should be aligned with the higher time frame order flow. This video has been recorded, so if you haven't got the chance to watch it, it will be on the YouTube right after this. Okay? We went over logic and narratives today. So focus on providing logic and narratives to your entry functions and aligning it with higher time frame order flow. See how much better your win rate becomes. For the people that have been asking about premium today, the link to it is in the description of this video. Press on the Bento Me link. Then you will see the premium service. If anybody has any other questions or comments, we can go over them now. If not, I'm going to begin to wrap up the stream. We have been on here for an hour and a half now. We got our analysis in. Looks like it played out beautifully. We had a bullish bias to start the day. Reason being, the daily was in a discount of the current range. Then we moved over to the hourly chart. We saw an hourly change in the state of delivery that was clear and decisive because there was an FVG aligned with it. It also provided a breaker block, which a breaker block plus an FVG is our entry function, right? The unicorn model. We outlined that here on the screen. We waited for the news driver because we always wait to execute after the news driver. And look what it provided you. A beautiful bounce all off of the breaker. Thank you guys again for joining. I had a great time with you guys this morning. We do this every week, so be sure to have the notifications on. We will be running live streams on Wednesdays on YouTube. So as you can see by the prior videos, we've been doing it for a while and we're going to continue to keep doing it. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. That way you can be notified for the next live stream. Stay up to date with Twitter. I am journaling every single day on Twitter. If you haven't already, join the Discord. That will be the most direct communication with me. Going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you again for joining. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. Have a nice day.